Welcome to this week's edition of Playmakers. I'm Riley.
And I'm Caitlin. The World Series begins tonight as the Washington Nationals will play the Houston Astros. The Nationals are coming off a sweep against the St. Louis Cardinals and are heading to their first ever World Series. The Astros beat the Yankees 4-2 in the ALCS to advance to their second World Series in 3 years. The game was tied at 4 in the bottom of the ninth in Game 6 before Jose Altuve hit a 2-run walk-off home run to win the series.
Big news coming from the NFL as Kansas City Chiefs quarterback and reigning MVP Patrick Mahomes had to leave the game in the second quarter after dislocating his right kneecap. The timetable of his return is uncertain, but reports say that he could be out for around 3 weeks. Backup quarterback Matt Moore showed up in last Thursday's game and played significantly well. Even without their star QB, the Chiefs defended the Broncos 30-6.
The NBA tips off tonight at 7 when the New Orleans Pelicans head north to take on the defending NBA champion Toronto Raptors. The Raptors will raise their first ever NBA championship banner tonight as they come into the season as the defending NBA champions. The second game of tonight's doubleheader will see the LeBron James and Anthony Davis-led Los Angeles Lakers play the Kawhi Leonard-led Los Angeles Clippers. That game will tip off at 9:30. Injuries have been the big storyline across the NBA so far this season. Both Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson are expected to miss the entire season. Maybe the biggest injury occurred in preseason as it was announced that Zion Williamson would be out for 6 to 8 weeks with a meniscus tear. While he will be back in a couple months, not having him for the first couple of months of the season is a big bummer.
Basketball season is about to start and some men's basketball players are getting ready for their awards. 7-foot center Udoka Azubuike has been named the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year. Doak was also named into the preseason All Big 12 team, alongside point guard Devon Dotson. Other players include Baylor's Tristan Clark, Iowa State's Tyrese Halliburton, and TCU's Desmond Bane. The men's basketball team will play their first exhibition game this Thursday against Fort Hays State.
The border showdown rivalry between Kansas and Missouri is returning, at least in men's basketball. The rivalry will start up again on December 12, 2020 at the Sprint Center in Kansas City. After that, the schools will alternate between Allen Fieldhouse and Mizzou Arena for the next 4 games before returning again at the Sprint Center. Both teams haven't played officially since February 25, 2012, when Kansas came back from a 19-point deficit second half to defeat Missouri in overtime. However, they did play in an exhibition game in Kansas City on October 22, 2017 to raise money for hurricane relief efforts.
Kansas football had an outstanding performance Saturday with the new offensive coordinator Brent Dearman calling the plays. KU's offense continually responded to Texas's scoring. KU took the lead late in the fourth quarter by succeeding with the 2-point conversion attempt with 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the game, but Texas drove down the field, setting them up for the winning field goal. They would convert, avoiding the upset with the final score of 50-48. Kansas will play Saturday at home against Texas Tech.
After 2 road games, a 1-0 victory against the Oklahoma Sooners, and a blank scoreboard against the Texas Tech Red Raiders, the women's soccer team was back in action at home on Friday against the Kansas State Wildcats. The Jayhawks swept the Wildcats 3-0 with a goal from Carrie Holland in the second minute of the match, the earliest scored goal for KU this season, with 2 more in the last 10 minutes from Katie McClure. The women will play their final home game of the season at Rock Chalk Park this Thursday against the West Virginia Mountaineers.
After the break, Stephanie will give us updates on international sports. Stay with us.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. Victory.
Welcome back. I am Stephanie with your international sports news updates. Since we missed a show due to fall break, I have 2 weeks of sports updates for you guys. During fall break, the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went head-to-head in London. The Panthers won 37-26 with Kyle Allen making 2 touchdowns for the Panthers. The next international game will be the Kansas City Chiefs against the Los Angeles Chargers in Mexico City on November 18th. The Rugby World Cup is starting to wrap up because the teams are in that are going to the semifinals. England and New Zealand will go against each other this Saturday, while Wales and South Africa go against each other on Sunday. I wonder who's going to make it to the final. The CONCACAF Nations League has finally begun. The United States went against Cuba and defeated them with a 7-0 win. Weston McKennie made 3 goals in total, and let's just say the first one was in the first minute. The United States kind of crumbled after that when they went against Canada. Canada has not beat the United States in 34 years, but they made history when they won 2-0. This is what U.S. head coach Greg Berhalter had to say about the loss.
Out there.
I said it wrong.
What were your thoughts?
I said it so wrong.
Yep, not the result we wanted. I think when I look at the game, and I talked to the guys in the locker room after the game, I think the first thing that stands out to me was desire of Canada, and give them credit. But having said that, the minimum we expect is to match that, and we need to compete on every single play in games like this, and that's important. And I don't think it was, lack of effort. I don't think it was purposeful, but I wasn't happy with the desire that we displayed tonight to win the soccer game. Too many 50-50 balls we lost, and that hurt us.
The United States will play again on November 15th against Canada once again. We'll see if the United States can redeem themselves. Visiting our team from down south, Mexico had a great beginning in the CONCACAF Nations League. Mexico defeated Bermuda 5-1 with Jose Juan Marcias making 2 goals out of the 5. Here's a clip of what he had to say about making his 2 goals.
No, feliz, ¿no? Primeramente gracias al equipo, porque gracias a ellos pues, puedo hacer mi trabajo, ¿no? Así que, como te digo, nada, hay que darle la vuelta a la página, ya pasó este partido, hay que prepararnos para el siguiente.
Marcias is very happy with his team and thanked them for a great game. Lastly, Mexico defeated Panama 3-1. Panama came out strong and is starting to become a known name in soccer. Panama was the reason why the United States national team did not make it to the previous World Cup, if you guys didn't know. Mexico did have a hiccup and made a goal in their own goal. Yeah, a Mexican player scored a goal against Mexico, basically. But that wasn't enough for Panama to win because they will have another chance, though. They will play again on November 15th. So we'll see if Panama can make a goal and see if Mexico doesn't make one on their own. That is all that I have for you this week. Up next, we have some more KU sports updates. Stay with us.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Welcome back. I'm Rainey.
And I'm Brenna. The women and men's cross-country team both competed at Laverne Gibson cross-country course this past Saturday. The women started off the morning with the 6K blue race, with Allie Ryan leading the women for the 3rd time this season, crossing the finish line with a 44.3. Ryan finished 129th out of 252 total runners, and the women placed 36th overall in the blue race. The men took on the 8K blue race, which was projected to be the fastest event of the day. For the first time, freshman Chandler Gibbons raced as a Jayhawk and led the men to a 19th place finish out of 38 teams. Gibbons individually finished 33rd with a time of 24:21.8. The Jayhawks also placed in both the women's 6K and men's 8K open races, with sophomores Sarah Scott and Alexis Barton in the top 50 finishers. Looking ahead, Kansas has this weekend off in preparation for the 24th annual Big 12 Cross Country Championship, which will be on November 2nd at the Cottonwood Creek Golf Club in Waco, Texas.
The Kansas swimming and diving teams had their senior day this past Saturday as they participated in their dual meet against Missouri State and South Dakota. The teams put together convincing victories as they won 244-101 against Missouri State and 261-87 against South Dakota in Robinson Natatorium. As part of senior days, KU celebrated their 7 seniors prior to the contest. They eventually set the tempo for the team as first place finishes were found in the 100-yard freestyle, 200-yard backstroke, and 500-yard freestyle. In diving, freshman Yu Chen claimed her second top finish of the weekend as she found her way to the top in both 1 meter and 3 meter dives. She was named the Big 12's Women's Diver of the Week. She becomes the first freshman to earn an award on opening weekend. The Jayhawks finished the weekend with 17 top finishes out of 19 total events. They will look to continue this success in their next meet, which is scheduled to be held October 25th at 4 p.m. in Robinson Natatorium.
The men's golf team finished in second place in the Big 12 Match Play Championship. The team gathered 10 points in their matches in pool play, which sent them on to the championship. From there, Texas Tech beat the Jayhawks 4-1-1 in the championship round. Freshman Luke Kluver didn't lose a single match in the tournament and continues to show that he is the future of the men's golf program. The women's golf team finished tied for 5th in the Cardinal Cup this past weekend. Junior Sarah Todoroku won the Cardinal Cup individual title with a final score of 8 under par. This was Sarah's first career individual title. After winning, she said that she was, quote, very comfortable with my game and I had all the confidence in the world, and that she, quote, knew someday it was going to be my turn to win the tournament. Sophomore Fisit Kwan Poratana Opa finished tied for 6th with a final score of even par.
The Jayhawk women's tennis team had an interesting weekend in Oklahoma. Friday saw them find success in 5 singles matches and score double sweep. Roxana Manu and Sonia Smayana won against St. Louis University 8-1, and a team consisting of Julia Deming and Luniska Delgado were victorious against Creighton in an 8-3 match. On Saturday, Malika Toyota and Mariah Torin-Rives competed in doubles matches, initially showing promise with an 8-4 win over Nebraska, but were later defeated in an 8-6 match against Arkansas. Luniska Delgado and Julia Deming won against Oklahoma in an 8-7 match, but ended up losing 8-2 to Arkansas. Sonia Smayana competed in the quarterfinals of the singles, but ended up losing to Oklahoma State after 3 sets. Head coach Todd Chapman said that we didn't lose a match all weekend because we were the less talented player or less talented doubles team. We lost matches because we need to improve our competitive maturity when we face adversity. We will work hard on that during the next few weeks to be prepared for our next opportunity to compete.
Celebrations were in order last Saturday when the KU volleyball team brought home a 3-0 win against TCU. Despite less favorable team record outcomes, several individual players have shined throughout the season. This weekend, all eyes were on Ashley Smith, whose leadership during the match started Jayhawks on the right foot. The ladies kept momentum rolling and finished with the first set 25-18, then continued to set number 2, finishing with a 25-21 score, and ultimately made Jayhawk Nation proud with a third and final set 25-19. The Jayhawks will be in action this Wednesday in Manhattan against in-state rivals K-State. Before you go, the Playmakers are introducing a new segment. Check it out! The University of Kansas knows its fans pretty well. They know we love games, food, friends, inflatables, school spirit, musical performances, dancing, flashing lights, and most of all, the excitement of Allen Fieldhouse. But how well do KU students know their own alma mater? I decided to find the answer to that question at this year's Late Night at the Fog celebration. Late Night is a KU tradition dating back to 1985, intended to introduce the season's basketball players and raise excitement for the coming basketball season. It sort of turned into this point of sports fanaticism, drawing in 16,300 Jayhawk fans far and wide. These fans are so dedicated, many of them were willing to wait outside in the rain for hours just to get good seats before the show. So when we tested these fans' dedication, some proved themselves as total Jayhawk devotees.
I've been out there camping since 11 a.m. this morning.
Others turned out to be less than experts.
Are you more excited for basketball or football?
I thought to myself, at a school where athletics are so deeply embedded into the tapestry of our traditions, how can less athletically inclined students learn more? All my life, I was never a jock. I was a theater kid with a curiosity about everything. These skills could come in handy. Boom, it hit me. I was going to be an aspiring student athlete, investigating the world of KU athletics and telling you everything you need to know in order to be a true KU sportsman. Join me, alongside the rest of the Playmakers, during Good Morning KU on Tuesday at noon, and stay tuned for our new segment, Aspiring Student Athletes, as I see the world of sports through an unathletic eye. Well, that was me. I'm Brenna Darley. I'll be the aspiring student athlete. You've seen me and Rainey here every morning on Tuesday, and Rainey helped me with camera work, and this was actually both of our first time even attending late night. So this was a really cool experience.
I blog about it. It was awesome.
You blog?
I do.
Nuts, dude.
Right?
Yeah, we had an amazing time. We were running through the rain. We got to work with some really amazing people. Yeah, and we hope you tune in. So yeah, have a great week and tune back into the Playmakers.